Lily had always been an amazing wife ever since we tied the knot a few years back. Our bond felt rock solid, and the life we were building together was everything I could have hoped for. Up until recently, she'd never given me a single reason to question her loyalty or feel any kind of jealousy. So when she brought up meeting the vice president of her company, it kind of caught me off guard. She'd been with Global Connections for about 3 years, and in that time, she climbed the ranks fast, landing a spot as their marketing manager in an international entertainment company. Her job meant she was constantly meeting new people and attending all kinds of events, conferences, strategy sessions, client meetings, you name it. Some of their clients were pretty high-profile too, like the New York Knicks, Chicago Bears, and the New England Patriots. With her smarts, professionalism, and upbeat attitude, she was basically tailor-made for that kind of environment. She used to tell me all about her day, her goals, her wins, the things she was working on, and I genuinely enjoyed hearing it. I was proud of her. Her dream was to eventually become the vice president of marketing, and she was definitely putting in the work to get there. Global Connections is a British company with offices across the globe, and the guy running the marketing side is Leo Bozy, the VP. He's in his early 50s, and from what I gathered, he built his success from the ground up. The guy's been married 3 times and has 9 kids, including 3 with his current wife. When Lily first mentioned him, I remember thinking, well, at least the guy makes enough money to support all those divorces and families. One evening, Lily started chatting about Leo again, just casually, telling me about her workday. Nothing personal, just work talk. She said he was flying in from overseas and would be in the States for 2 months. It sounded like a big opportunity for her to show him just how valuable she is and prove she's serious about moving up. That's my girl, driven, focused, always planning for the next step. We had recently been tossing around the idea of starting a family, and I asked her if a promotion would push that timeline back. She told me she wanted to lock in her place at the company while Leo was around, then decide if we should go ahead with the baby plans or hold off another year. Honestly, I was fine with either option. We were still in our 20s, and there was no rush. But we did want kids. 1 boy, 1 girl, that was the dream. We used to spend hours talking about baby names and picturing what kind of schools they'd go to when they got older. We were in love. We were excited for what was ahead. Then, about a week after Leo landed in town, I decided to surprise Lily at her office and take her out to lunch. But when I stepped into her office, I saw something that stopped me cold. She and Leo were standing way too close, and she was laughing and flirting like a teenager. The second I walked in, she stepped back from him like she'd been caught. She introduced us with a forced smile. Leo, this is my husband, James. James, meet Leo. He's the executive VP from our corporate office. Remember? I told you he'd be here a while. And then he hit me with it, that smug little smirk. Ah, so you're the little husband, he said. Nice to meet you, but I've got to run. I'm late for a meeting. And just like that, he turned on his heel and left. No real conversation, no decency. I was floored. The guy was straight up rude, especially for someone that high up. I turned to Lily, trying to keep my cool but failing. What the hell was that? Why were you all over him, laughing like that? I was ready to knock that smirk off his face, but the guy had already disappeared. She saw I was pissed and tried to calm me down. Relax, babe. It's just Leo. That's how he is. It's harmless. He's old enough to be my dad, she said with a laugh. Every girl at work flirts with him. He's got that British accent and plays the charming gentleman card. Thinks he's some kind of ladies' man, but really, he's just an arrogant goof. But still, he's the boss. And he's married. It's all just for laughs. I wasn't laughing. Not even close. And calling me the little husband? You're okay with that? Why were you even entertaining him like that? Oh, James, don't be jealous. He's one of the top execs in the whole company. I have to be nice. That's just how British guys are, flirty, smooth-talking. Nothing more. Well, I don't like it. I told her flat out. Just breathe. He's only here for 2 months. After that conversation, things felt a little off between us. Lily stopped bringing up his name and walked on eggshells so she wouldn't upset me again. But then, a week later, Wednesday night, she brought him up again while we were having dinner. She said it casually, like she was asking about the weather. Hey, sweetheart, would you mind if I went out to dinner with Leo? My fork paused midair as I tried to wrap my head around what she just said. You mean, like, a work dinner or something? I asked, trying to make sense of it. She hesitated. Well, not exactly. It's more like a one-time dinner before he flies back to London, she said. Right then, I felt a sharp twist in my gut, and my heart kicked into overdrive. I didn't say anything at first, just sat there for a while, trying to keep myself from boiling over. "So let me get this straight," I finally said. "You're talking about the same Leo who flirted with you in your office and mocked me to my face? The so-called family man with 9 kids from 3 different marriages?" "Well, yes," she admitted, "but honestly, he's been surprisingly kind lately. He'll be gone soon, and chances are I'll never see him again once he's back in London. I just thought it'd be okay to have dinner with him before he leaves. That's all. He's married, he's got kids, it's nothing serious. Just a little fun, nothing romantic. Just one night. That's all I'm asking. Besides, it could be good for my career. You're always traveling for work anyway, and it's just one evening." "One evening," I said, my voice cold. "So it's not just dinner, it's a date. And you want to spend the night with him." I leaned in and made it absolutely clear. "Lily, I'm not going to sit by and let you go on a date with another man while we're married. I don't care how you dress it up. The fact that you even want to spend time alone with him makes me question this entire marriage." The panic hit her instantly. "No, James, you've got it all wrong. I love you, you're my husband," she pleaded. "This isn't what you think. It's just Leo, and it's just for one night. I'll be back the next day. Nothing between us will change, and after that, he'll be out of our lives for good. Please, it's just one night." I stared at her, my blood boiling, and said the only thing I could think of: "Get out of my life." I told her I'd be filing for divorce soon, then walked to the closet, grabbed a bag, packed some clothes, and left the house without another word. She followed me out, crying, begging me to stay. But I didn't look back. I just drove off, leaving behind what used to be our happy little life. It hadn't even been half an hour, and our marriage was already in shambles. Not long after, the call started. My loving wife now couldn't stop calling and texting, saying how much she loved me, how no one could ever take my place in her life. Then came another message, telling me this was all a big misunderstanding, that I was still her one and only, and that I needed to come home. As I drove, I kept going over it in my head. If she was that quick to let another man into the picture, how could I possibly believe in our future anymore? Maybe it could be fixed. Maybe. But it would take a hell of a lot of work. And I wasn't sure I had it in me. I stayed gone for 2 nights. I didn't pick up any of her calls. I even told my job to say I was out of town on a business trip just so she wouldn't know where I was. Meanwhile, back at her job, Lily was falling deeper into Leo's trap. Ever since the day Leo walked through the office doors, every woman there seemed spellbound by him. The guy had a strong presence, tall, built, and that polished British accent made everything he said sound smooth and slick. From the start, everyone could tell he had his eyes on Lily. He'd compliment her often, pulled her into private conversations, shared lunches. It was obvious he was giving her special attention. The other women noticed too, and some of them weren't too happy about it. But instead of warning her off, they egged her on. "Lily, he's asked you out more than once already," one of them said. "Any of us would trade places with you. He's gorgeous, powerful, and that accent? Come on." They told her she was lucky, that this kind of opportunity doesn't come around twice, that she should go for it, married or not. "James doesn't need to know," they said. "Leo will be back in London soon. No strings. No mess." They wore her down, little by little, until finally, she gave in. But somewhere inside, she still knew it didn't feel right to go behind my back. That's when she convinced herself the honest route was better, asking me for permission, just once, thinking I'd understand. She really thought I'd say yes, that I'd let it slide. But when I flipped out, it threw her. She hadn't expected that kind of reaction. She was crushed and desperate. In tears, she picked up the phone and called Monica, her closest friend at work. Monica and Lily had started working in the same department on the same day. For 3 years, they'd been thick as thieves. "Monica, it's Lily," she sobbed into the phone. "He's gone. James left me." "What are you talking about?" Monica asked, shocked. "I told James the first wanted to have dinner with Leo, and he just packed his stuff and walked out. He even said something about divorce." "I think I've lost him, Monica." "Oh, please," Monica replied, brushing it off. "He's just sulking. You know how men are. Fragile ego and all that. Give him a few days, he'll come around. You haven't even done anything yet." "He's furious," Lily whispered. "I don't think he's coming back. Relax. Have a glass of wine, get some rest. We'll talk more at work tomorrow. We'll figure something out to get you and Leo together. Trust me." But all Lily really wanted was her husband back. Still, the planning didn't stop. 2 days later, I came home. I didn't go back to our bedroom. I moved into the guest room and kept my distance. Monica had been right about one thing. I was mad. Madder than even I expected. And I made it crystal clear to Lily. If she ever mentioned Leo's name again, I'd walk away for good, no looking back. At that point, marriage counseling felt like the obvious next step. Over the following week, Lily did everything she could think of to win me back and prove she was sorry. Even though I was still angry, seeing her around the house, this beautiful woman I once couldn't get enough of, and not touching her was wearing me down. After 7 days of tension, we finally gave in to each other and had a passionate night together. It didn't fix everything, but in that moment, I decided to let go of the anger and give her another chance. Still, I made myself crystal clear. Next time, I won't be coming back. Lily dodged a bullet, and she knew it. She swore up and down she'd never do anything like that again. But then she went back to work and spilled the whole story to her coworkers, telling them just how close she came to losing me because of her crazy idea. You'd think that would have scared them off, but not these women. Nope, they doubled down. They started brainstorming a new, foolproof plan to get her and Leo alone before he flew back to London. It basically turned into a group mission, with the entire marketing team rallying to make it happen. That's when Marcia, one of the ringleaders, pitched an idea that had the rest of them buzzing. Ladies, she said, in 2 weeks, we've got the year-end celebration at the Hyatt. You all know about the big formal dinner, live music, dancing, the whole 9 yards. And this year, they want us to bring our spouses. Then she grinned. When I heard that, I had a light bulb moment. She went on, my husband Ray works sales for a pharmaceutical company that focuses on anesthesiology. They've been pushing this new formula midazolam. Most of the girls looked confused, so she explained. Midazolam is what they give patients before surgery to knock them out. It calms them fast and wipes their memory clean until they wake up. It's usually 4, but this new version, S2 Mid, comes in a liquid pill form. She leaned in, lowering her voice. Ray's company is pushing this stuff hard. It works even better than the original formula. And here's the fun part, he keeps his sample kits locked in his car. But when he takes my Mustang for a spin, I've got easy access to those keys. Lily sat there confused, while Monica narrowed her eyes. Okay, Marcia, but what does any of that have to do with us? I'm glad you asked, Marcia said, practically glowing. Here's the plan. At the party, when everyone's relaxed and having fun, I'll pour myself a drink and grab a second glass, Crown Royal, James's favorite. When I see he's ready, I'll hand him the one I spiked. It kicks in anywhere between 5 to 20 minutes. He'll get drowsy, dizzy, and eventually pass out. We'll make sure he's in a chair, help him look like he just had a little too much to drink. Then we'll say he's not feeling great and take him to your hotel room to rest. He'll be out cold for at least 4 hours, probably till morning. Once we've got him tucked in, that's your cue, Lily. Head to Leo's room, spend a few hours with him, and come back before sunrise. When you return, you take a quick shower, freshen up, and slide into bed next to James like nothing ever happened. Marcia turned to Lily and smiled. He'll never know. It's the perfect setup. Lily was stunned. You want me to drug my husband just so I can have a fling with Leo? Are you hearing yourselves? James would kill me if he found out. Sure, I know it sounds crazy, and I can't lie. The idea is tempting, especially if it helps me climb the ladder at work, but this could ruin everything if it goes wrong. Oh, come on, one of the girls said. It's just one night. James is not going to find out. Leo will owe you, big time, and you'll be first in line for that promotion. The last thing James will remember is you saying you love him. And when he wakes up, you'll be there, smiling beside him. It's perfect. And you better give us all the details afterward, girl. Lily hesitated. I don't know. This is insane. Just give me some time. Things are finally good at home again. James is calm. I'll tell him about the party and see what he says. Later that night, while we were in bed, Lily brought it up. James, we've got our big end-of-year company party in 2 weeks. It's formal, so you'll need to get your tux dry cleaned. She smiled. Spouses are invited this year. We haven't gone dancing in a while. It could be fun. I sighed. You know I hate those company events, but if it means that much to you, I'll go. That night, I made sure she knew how much I appreciated her efforts. We shared a real moment of closeness, and afterward, I felt like things might finally be back on track. I drifted off that night feeling like a husband again. But Lily? Her thoughts had shifted. The idea she once swore she'd never entertain had started creeping in. And somewhere between guilt and temptation, she made a decision. Later that night, She texted Marcia, "I'm in. Can you get the medication?" About a minute later, her phone buzzed with a reply. "Leave it to me." "No problem." Lily enjoyed being close to me. There was still real intimacy between us, but the idea of being with Leo had her fired up in a whole different way. There was something about the forbidden side of it, the thrill of doing something bold, something she told herself would happen only once and never again, that kept her constantly on edge and strangely excited. She couldn't decide if it was the danger of it all or just the chance to be with her powerful boss, but either way, she stuck to the plan. She promised herself it would only be that night. Just once. James would never find out. What harm could it really do? As the days ticked by, I started to notice a shift. Lily was glued to her phone more often, texting nonstop with her friends. I knew the company party was coming up, but something about the way she acted didn't sit right with me. One night, while she was fast asleep beside me, I picked up her phone. I punched in our anniversary, her go-to password, and opened her messages. What I saw next broke me. For the next hour, I scrolled through an avalanche of texts, reading every filthy detail of the plan. How they drugged me. The timing. The dosage. Which drink they'd use. How they'd walk me to the room, lay me down like a drunk fool, and leave me passed out while she went off with Leo. She'd sneak into his room, spend a few hours, then shower, freshen up, and come back to our bed like nothing ever happened. I read the whole thing. Who got the drug? Who was going to slip it in? How Leo had a part in planning the whole thing. They were going to make me an unconscious prop while my own wife slept with another man. That was it. I didn't need anything else. I backed up every message to the cloud, set her phone back down on the nightstand, and stared at the ceiling for hours. I couldn't sleep. Couldn't breathe right. The woman I loved, the one I thought would never cross a line like this, had just declared war on me, and I was going to hit back. The next day, I kept playing the part of the forgiving husband. But behind the scenes, I started preparing. I kept monitoring her messages and quietly stayed one step ahead of their plan. Then I made a call. My godfather, Uncle Jeff, used to be a cop. I told him everything, every sick detail. And together, we came up with a plan of our own. We brought in Sandra Fields, Jeff's old partner from his days on the force. She was sharp and had seen it all. She joined forces with two of my army buddies, Logan Adams and Tyler Connolly. Our goal was simple: stop the drugging, catch them in the act, and make sure none of them ever forgot what they tried to do. Sandra's job was to stay close during the party and make sure I didn't drink anything I shouldn't. Uncle Jeff, Logan, and Tyler would handle the heavy lifting later that night. Then came the night of the party. Just as I'd expected, Lily walked out in a show-stopping black dress with a plunging neckline, sheer stockings with seams, and towering heels. Her makeup was perfect. Hairstyle just right. She looked stunning. And every bit of it broke my heart, because she wasn't dressing up for me. She was doing it for Leo. I swallowed the bitterness and forced a smile. "Well, you look amazing tonight, babe. This all for me." She gave me a sweet smile. "Of course, darling. I want you to be proud of your beautiful wife." It almost made me gag. The way she lied so easily, it was unreal. This woman, the one I shared a bed with, was planning to drug me and sneak off to sleep with her boss while I lay unconscious in a hotel room. And the worst part? Her friends all knew. Everyone she worked with was in on it. I was the only fool in the room, but not anymore. I still couldn't wrap my head around why she'd risk everything for one stupid night. My old man used to say, sometimes, son, logic and women just don't mix. I never really believed it until now. We arrived at the hotel ballroom. Music playing, people chatting, champagne glasses clinking. Lily's co-workers rushed to her side, pulling her into their circle, right where Leo stood. I followed behind, scanning the room. I caught sight of Sandra near the drinks table. Good. She was in position, just like we planned. I kept my distance and watched from across the room. I couldn't risk blowing our plan by confronting her too soon. Leo already had his arm around Lily's waist, leaning in close, whispering in her ear and making her laugh. She looked completely swept up in him, completely forgetting I even existed. My stomach turned. My fists clenched. I stood near a group of strangers, keeping my eyes locked on them. Leo was holding court, performing like he was the star of the show. And then, of course, he noticed me. That smug bastard couldn't help himself. "Well, look who it is," he said loud enough for everyone to hear. "The accountant. Welcome, little man." He smirked like he'd already won. Lily turned toward me, suddenly realizing what it looked like. Her boss draped over her, me standing alone in the crowd. Leo kept going. Hey James, I got one for you. What do accountants use for birth control? He waited a beat. Their personalities. The crowd cracked up. Even Lily. She laughed along with the rest of them. I died a little inside. That moment. That one laugh. It told me everything I needed to know. She wasn't mine anymore. And she was going to find out exactly what that meant. But not yet. First, I had to let our plan run its course. He kept jabbing at me. You're a typical boring accountant, James. Bet you bring spreadsheets to bed. More laughter. More humiliation. And still, Lily said nothing. She stood there while this clown tore me apart, and I could see in her eyes. She thought he was charming. She thought this was fun. But the game was almost over. And none of them were ready for what was coming next. Leo kept going, cracking joke after joke at my expense. One after another. A dozen of them, maybe more. And every damn time, the crowd laughed. And so did my wife. Your wife's got amazing W. 2 sneakers, he said, and Lily chuckled. Oh baby, let me withhold you. The women around us giggled like schoolgirls. Technically, sex with an accountant is a charitable contribution. Lily laughed even harder. Each one landed like a slap to the face. He even threw in James's office, IRS stands for, I'm really sexy. I could feel the pressure in my chest growing with every punchline. If I helped you fool Uncle Sam, can I be next? That was it. I had hit my limit. I stood up and turned away. As I walked off, Leo kept tossing digs over his shoulder, laughing like it was all just good fun. Come on, James, don't go. Come back, little man. I'm just joking. Rage boiled inside me. Sure, Leo was maybe an inch or two taller, but I'm no pushover. At 6 feet 1 inch and nearly 200 pounds, I could have folded that smug Brit in half in seconds if I wanted to. And Lily knew that. Or at least she used to. At that point, the only thing I did know was that I wasn't going to let this go. Somebody was going to pay for this. All of them. What was Lily even thinking? Had she completely lost her mind? Was she so hypnotized by this guy that she really thought I'd stand there and take it? Right then, I felt a hand gently wrap around my waist. I turned, and there she was. Honey, she said softly. He was just kidding. Come with me. I looked her dead in the eyes. Are you seriously out of your damn mind? You just stood there while he put his arm around you, made me the butt of every joke, and humiliated me in front of the whole damn room. And now you want me to go back and pretend everything's fine. What kind of wife does that? I've never been this embarrassed in my life. I make more money than any of those jerks combined, and you still let him treat me like I'm nothing. Like I'm a clown. Forget it, Lily. Just go. Go back to your charming boss. You two are perfect for each other. Her face dropped. James, please. I'm sorry. Don't be mad. Let's just sit down for a while. Just the two of us. We made our way to our table. A few feet away, I spotted Sandra standing watch, just like we planned. Lily tried to stay focused on me, doing her best to calm me down. After my second drink, I acted like I was starting to relax. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw Leo swaggering toward us, grinning like an idiot. He reached out to shake my hand. No hard feelings, buddy. Get lost, jackass. I snapped, loud enough for half the room to hear. Lily gasped. James. He's my boss. Please don't talk to him like that. But the guy didn't miss a beat. Janet. Relax, he said smoothly. I hurt the little guy's feelings. Want to dance? She shot me a glare, like I was the one out of line, then took his hand and followed him to the dance floor. They danced, then danced again, and again. 3 songs later, my glass was empty. That's when Monica and Denise slid into the chairs beside me. Denise had 2 drinks in hand, Crown Royal on the rocks, of course. I knew exactly what was coming next. Sandra was watching. She'd be ready. The girls tried to soften me up. James, you know how British humor is. Don't take it so personally. Lily loves you. She's just trying to keep things smooth with her boss. Denise held out the drink. Here, your favorite. I looked down at the glass, then back at them. I don't know, I said slowly. I've had enough tonight. Maybe I should just call it and head home. That wasn't part of their script. Both women panicked and nearly shouted, No, don't go. I stood up like I was leaving, then casually turned away. Right on cue, Sandra passed behind me. I made the switch, handing her the spiked glass and taking the decoy she'd prepared. I sat back down and took a sip of the watered-down whiskey. She'd hold on to the real one for evidence. I stared into my glass and said, Maybe you two are right. I'll just be the boring accountant while my wife flirts with her boss. Let everyone here think I'm just a clueless idiot. Then I tipped the entire glass back and downed it in one go. Denise's eyes went wide. She wasn't expecting me to drink it all. A few awkward laughs later, they stood up and told me they needed to check on their husbands. The stage was set. I was left sitting there alone while Leo and Lily stayed on the dance floor, acting like they were the only two people in the room. That night, my performance was award-worthy. I slouched down in my chair, let my body relax, and slowly pretended to drift off. All the while, I kept an eye on them. I watched as Lily leaned in closer to Leo, saw her touch his arm, saw him brush her hair back. It hurt more than I expected, but I couldn't show it. Eventually, I dropped my head to the table like I'd passed out cold. Moments later, I heard them approach. "James?" Lily whispered near my ear. "Honey? Are you okay?" "James, wake up, sweetheart." I opened my eyes for just a second and looked into the face of the woman I once adored, the same woman now scheming behind my back. I shut my eyes again. Let it happen. Then, just like they planned, Monica and Denise came around, helped me out of the chair, and walked me out of the ballroom. While all eyes were on me, Leo and Lily slipped quietly through the side door, unnoticed. We reached my hotel room. My phone buzzed in my pocket, confirmation that the trap was set. The girls laid me on the bed and started to undress me, thinking I was out cold. They had no idea what was coming next. I couldn't help but smirk when I heard their reactions. Monica's voice stood out. "Damn. Lily never said he was built like that." Then came the kicker. "Honestly, if he dumps her, I wouldn't mind finding out what that's like for myself." "I still can't believe she'd cheat on him," she added. "But I guess at this point, we're all part of it now." "Shut up, Monica," Denise snapped. "Let's get out of here." The door closed behind them. I sat up and let out a laugh. Their little side comments were amusing, but they only confirmed how deep this betrayal really ran. I got dressed and grabbed my phone. There it was. A text waiting for me. Room 360 at 11 o'clock. I had 15 minutes to link up with Uncle Jeff, Logan, and Tyler. I hit the bathroom, splashed cold water on my face, grabbed the brass knuckles I'd packed just in case, and headed out. At exactly 11 o'clock, the four of us were standing outside room 360. 11 o'clock, just 30 minutes after Lily and Leo had disappeared upstairs. Uncle Jeff's role was simple: get the door open, then walk away. We didn't want him involved in what came next. That part was on us. Jeff stepped forward and knocked. Bang, bang, bang. From inside, Leo's voice called out, "Who is it?" "This is Sergeant Gilman, NYPD. We have an emergency. Please open the door." Jeff held up his old police badge just enough to be seen through the peephole. We heard the chain slide, the door creak open about 6 inches. Jeff turned and walked away. No questions, no hesitation, just like we planned. Then all hell broke loose. Tyler and Logan charged in, grabbed a stunned and very naked Leo, and slammed him against the wall. I walked in right behind them, phone in hand, recording everything. There she was, Lily, naked in the sheets, eyes wide with panic. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. She looked like she'd seen a ghost. She never expected to see me, not like this. Her body froze, and her face crumpled when she realized I'd been awake this whole time, that I knew everything. I stepped forward and said, calm but seething, This is what you threw away our marriage for." I pointed at Leo. "Him? This pasty pile of nothing? You drugged me, lied to me, all for this loser." I turned toward Leo. His eyes were locked on the brass knuckles I slipped onto my right hand. That smug arrogance from earlier? Gone. He was trembling. "What's wrong, Leo?" I asked. "No clever insults now? No more of your cute British jokes?" He didn't say a word, but the moment I saw his lips move to say, "I'm sorry," I snapped. I beat him until he crumpled, bloody, whimpering, barely conscious. My last punch shattered his nose. Blood sprayed everywhere. He hit the floor like a sack of bricks, groaning, curled up, sobbing like a frightened little boy. I turned to Lily. "I'll probably go to jail for this," I said, breathing hard, but right now, I couldn't care less. "I'm sure you'll defend him, testify on his behalf. He's all you've got now." "Yes, Lily. I knew. I knew about your plan to drug me, sneak off, betray me in that bed." I looked around the room, the wrinkled sheets, the evidence. "You did it while I was lying unconscious downstairs. You didn't care what that drug might do to me. Didn't care if I'd wake up at all. And then you were going to come back, slide into bed, cuddle me like nothing ever happened. Whisper how much you love me. Lie straight to my face. Well, I had a plan too. Much simpler. More honest. Her face twisted as the tears came, but I didn't stop. Tomorrow, you're not going home. You're staying here until noon. You won't text. You won't call. In the morning, a courier will bring you divorce papers, right here, to this room. He's under strict orders to wait for your signature. He'll have it notarized on the spot. This divorce won't be fair. I'm not interested in fair anymore. You get the house. There's about 80 grand in equity. You're welcome to it. But I keep everything else, our savings, our retirement, every cent we've worked for. It's already done. I drained our accounts. Canceled your credit cards. Don't bother checking. The divorce terms state you waive spousal support. You walk away with your things, and I walk away with my dignity. Oh, and your car? It's paid off. Keep it. But the insurance, the bills, the gas, the mortgage, you're on your own now. And God willing, I'll never see your lying face again. Good luck with all that, I said, standing at the door. As for your new boyfriend, I'll be forwarding these videos to his wife. I'm sure that'll kickstart divorce number 4 for Leo. You might not be far behind either. Keep going like this, and you'll catch up soon enough. I turned back and added one final warning. And here's the deal. If you sign the divorce papers tomorrow morning, we walk away quietly. No one has to know what you did. But if you don't sign, I'll make sure everyone does. I'll send the videos to your parents, tell them why I'm leaving. I'll make sure both of you lose your jobs and your reputations go up in smoke. We both know how much your career means to you. I don't want to do it, Lily, but I will. Sign the papers by 9 a.m. tomorrow, or the life you know is over. My stuff will be gone from the house. Whatever's left, feel free to toss or donate to charity. I really don't care anymore. She started sobbing, her voice cracking as she tried to get the words out. Baby, please talk to me. Don't do this. You know I never loved him. I just wanted to be with him once. He's nothing to me. It was just for fun. For the promotion. He's leaving next week. I'd never have seen him again. Why couldn't you just understand that? I'd heard enough. Her words meant nothing now. I looked at Logan and Tyler. Guys, head out. You were never here. If anything comes of this, I'll take the hit. They nodded and left without a word. I turned back to the woman I once called my wife. Lily, I said quietly, I loved you. What you did? It's unforgivable. You knew exactly how I felt the moment you brought this crap up, but you went ahead anyway. You pulled your friends into it. You conspired to drug me. You humiliated me. You betrayed me in the worst way. You didn't just cheat. You kidnapped me in my own body so you could sleep with that piece of trash. And you almost got away with it. She reached for me, pleading, Please, James, don't divorce me. You know I love you. I don't want anyone else. Just give me a chance to prove it. This was nothing. It didn't mean anything. He's not you. I was stupid, but I swear I see it now. Please, don't walk away. I stared at her, stunned by how insane her words sounded. Lily, this would almost be funny if it weren't so pathetic. You're lying naked in Leo's bed, his sweat still on your skin, and you're trying to convince me that this meant nothing? You're telling me you love me? That we shouldn't get divorced? I shook my head and glanced at my phone, still recording. You know what? I think I'll keep this video. Might make for a fun rewatch someday. You're just a corporate fling now. Spoiled goods. And I'll never lay a hand on you again. In fact, after tonight, I don't plan to ever see you again. The room fell silent. I let the silence hang in the air before I continued. Lily, we're done talking. You and your little team planned to drug me so you could cheat with your boss. You wrecked everything we built. You remember the names we picked out? The kids we used to dream about. Kristen and David. Well, thanks to you, they'll never exist. Our future is dead. Just a memory now. So go ahead, tell me. Was it worth it? Was this little fling worth throwing our entire life away? I hope so. Because now, this man, I said, gesturing toward the bloody mess on the floor, is all you've got. I turned and walked out. Behind me, I heard her collapse onto the bed, sobbing, completely broken. Her brilliant little plan had gone up in flames. She'd lost everything, and she knew it. Lily cried into the sheets, unable to understand how it all slipped through her fingers. Why she let it happen? Then the panic kicked in. Screaming into the room, at no one in particular, she begged. When Leo started to stir on the floor, dazed and groaning, she shouted toward the doorway. But James, the girls said you'd forgive me. They said you'd understand. It was just sex, for God's sake. Just sex with Leo. Can't you forgive me? Please. I'll make it right. I'll never do this again. Please. I love you. But I was already gone. And the damage? It was done. Now she'd have to live with the consequences and face a future without the man she claimed to love. Monica, Denise, Leo, and Lily all ended up getting arrested and charged with multiple serious offenses: conspiracy, drug possession, and assault using a controlled substance. The kidnapping charges, surprisingly, were dropped. Monica got 2 years for her part in the conspiracy. Denise? She got the harshest sentence: 10 years behind bars for conspiracy, drug possession, and assault. Leo walked away with 2 years for conspiracy. And Lily, my once beloved wife, was also handed a 2-year sentence for her role in planning it all. Unsurprisingly, Lily, Denise, and Monica lost their jobs. And with felony records hanging over their heads, their careers were effectively destroyed. Once they got out, life didn't just go back to normal. All 3 women had to settle for jobs they once looked down on, positions that stripped them of the pride and prestige they used to wear like armor. The world they once ruled didn't want them anymore. Denise's husband, Ray, got hit hard too. The scandal around her actions tanked his career, and he couldn't land another job in his field. Eventually, he divorced Denise while she was still behind bars. Monica's husband left her too. But the worst part for her wasn't the divorce, it was losing her kids. Her 2 children stopped speaking to her entirely and never came to visit. During all of this, Leo had the nerve to press charges against me for assault and breaking his nose. But once the jury heard the full story, what they had done to me, justice was served. I was found not guilty. Leo's downfall didn't stop there. His wife divorced him. His company fired him, not just for the criminal charges, but also for multiple allegations of workplace harassment that came crawling out from the shadows. Later, Lily tried suing Leo in civil court for sexual harassment too, but by then it was pointless. He had nothing left. By the time she got out of prison, Leo was broke and divorced, just like her. He didn't get a severance. No glowing references. No job leads. Nothing. The last I heard, he was living paycheck to paycheck, what little there was of it. On probation for 5 years, clinging to what was left of his name. The man who once strutted around in designer suits and talked down to people like me, reduced to a nobody, humbled, broken, and alone. As for me, I moved on. True to my word, I never laid eyes on Lily again. 5 years later, I got remarried. Her name's Alyssa. Smarter, kinder, even more beautiful than Lily ever was, and, most importantly, loyal. She made me promises of trust and faithfulness, but I'd been burned before. So I insisted on a prenuptial agreement before we tied the knot. She didn't argue. After everything I'd been through, trust didn't come easy. But Alyssa understood. Now, at 32, I'm a happily married man again. We have a son, David, and a baby girl, Kristen. Funny how those names stuck with me. Meanwhile, Lily never recovered. She never remarried. Never moved on. She lived with the consequences of her betrayal every single day. Depression dug its claws deep, and on most nights, she'd lie awake in bed, alone, the way she made me feel once, and scroll through my social media page. She did it every night since the divorce. And on one particular evening, she saw it. A new post of my kids, David playing in the backyard, and me holding baby Kristen, smiling like the man I'd become. That was the moment it all hit her. The life she threw away was now my reality. The family she once dreamed about gone, because of one selfish night, one betrayal she could never undo. Lily never found peace after that, and she could never forgive herself. They say people don't regret what they did, they regret getting caught. But Lily? She regretted everything. Because in the end, she didn't just lose her husband. She lost her future.